word. Assalamu alaikum everyone. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'alni waziran min ahli Haruna akhi washdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nazkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira. Wassallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Welcome. This is how life is sometimes. So challenges that we face every now and then. So we are in the 17th word, the second station, page 231 in the book. We're discussing the verse from the Quran, I love not those that set. And we went over some of the meaning behind how we can understand our relationship with our Creator in terms of how this passing world must be used to get to know the eternal realm, the eternal being as well. So we'll start continuing on that topic. It's more of a psychological analysis of the human being as himself, herself, to see how they understand what their purpose in existence is. So let me start reading. About 25 years ago on Mount Joshua, above the Istanbul Bosphorus, at a time I had decided to give up the world. A number of important friends came to me in order to call me back to the world and my former position. I told them to leave me till the following morning, so that I could seek guidance. That morning, the following two tables were imparted to my heart. They resemble poetry, but they are not. I have not changed them for the sake of that blessed memory, and they have been kept as they occurred to me. They were added to the 23rd word and now have been included here on account of their station. The first table. The table depicting the reality of the world of the heedless. The table depicting the reality of the world of the heedless. Okay, so don't call me to the world. I came and saw it was transitory. Okay, so realizes that the world is transitory. I see that everything is passing. I came and saw it was transitory. Heedlessness was a veil. I saw the light of truth was concealed. So heedlessness was a veil. I saw the light of truth was concealed. So the light of truth concealed behind the veil. All the beings in existence I saw were ephemeral, harmful. Okay, so that's one view of heedlessness, that everything is harmful because they cause separation, they leave. All the beings in existence I saw were ephemeral, harmful. If you say being, I dressed in it. If you say being, I dressed in that being. Alas, it was non-being. I suffered much. So if you say that existence of a being is there, but it feels as if heedlessness makes it as if it's a non-being and causes us much to suffer. So this is the world of the heedless. If you say life, I tasted it, and I saw it was torment upon torment. The mind became pure torture. I saw permanence to be tribulation. The mind became pure torture. I saw permanence to be tribulation. That's weird. So I saw permanence to be tribulation. So although the mind became pure torture, I saw permanence to be tribulation. But this, oh no, this life, how can permanence be tribulation? Life became pure whim. I saw attainment to be pure loss. I saw attainment to be pure loss. Yes, Faria, please go ahead.
So this is an interesting one. The mind became pure torture. I saw permanence to be tribulation. Pretty much, I guess, being just lost in whatever the world offers us. I mean, even the author is sharing his experiences about how we go on living our day-to-day, even knowing of how we should be living it, where everything points not to itself, but something not of the nature of this universe. And I guess just, once we keep going, even the mind becomes trained in such a way where, yes, I don't like transience, but I'm not getting a solution in this world. So this is it. I'm tortured. Yeah, I feel tortured. And so getting the idea of permanence does not even, it just gets shunned away. So I saw permanence to be tribulation, as in, oh my goodness, how am I going to achieve permanence here? Like, I'm trying to find solution just within this universe. So yeah, definitely. And I'm in need of permanence. So yeah, permanence is just going to be tribulation because I don't know how to seek it. So perhaps that's what he means by that. I mean, at least that's what I understood, if that makes any sense.
Yep, thank you. So there's no hope for permanence, as you were saying it. If you see the world just as it is, like no meaning. So if you say life, I taste the tasting of life, and that's pretty much it. There's no meaning behind all that taste that one gets. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
It's very simple. The first table is, as you repeatedly stated, this is the word of the heedlessness, trying to solve the problem within the universe itself. It's a beautiful description of it. This first table, of course, will follow the second table. This is the study of La ilaha. If there is no creator, no source of existence, if the existence consists of this world only, that is what we are going to experience within this world. We will bear in mind the author is not really depicting a very gloomy life, dark feelings, but of course this is inevitable for a person who doesn't accept the creator. That is what I said. La ilaha. We are studying La ilaha. Beautiful description of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali, for clarifying. So yeah, so it makes no sense. The mind became pure torture. I saw permanence to be tribulation, because in La ilaha, if you're looking for a solution in this world, you don't really can get the concept that there's a meaning behind it to seek permanence. And so permanence seems like unattainable in this world only, because everything is passing. So there's really no permanence. So life became pure vim. I saw attainment to be pure loss. I saw attainment to be pure loss. Deeds became pure hypocrisy. I saw hopes to be pure pain. Hopes to be pure pain. Union became...
Hope, the more we hope, the more we experience the pain, because whatever we get it immediately snatches away from our life, and we are left with nothing because it goes in the past and we cannot get it. So it becomes just pure loss and pure, whatever that's it.
Yep, it leaves me, so it seemingly leaves me. So it seems like a loss. So,
because, losing the pleasure causes pain. That's the principle. That's what how human beings experience life. When I lose it, it's cause, for example, if somebody has something that he really loved it, if it breaks down or it is stolen something, it really causes pain. For example, if someone loses $1, doesn't matter. But if someone loses $1 million that he worked for 20 years for it, and then this person can commit suicide easily. So much pain that he cannot really stand it.
yep. So the pleasures of life, when you lose it, it becomes very painful. So these become pure hypocrisy. I saw hopes to be pure pain. Union became parting itself. I saw that cure to be the ill. So whatever you engage with, it would leave you in this world, and then you would think that the union would be a cure, but it becomes very painful and ill. These lights became darkness. I saw these friends to be orphans, as if they're existing by themselves. No one's really taking care of them. These voices became announcements of death.
I think light, excuse me, these friends, these lights become darkness. But we have to understand that friends, the word friends here, all the creatures that I am acquainted with. For example, I love the flower, the birds, and whatever, beautiful scenery, whatever we are experiencing, and identifying ourselves with them, take the picture, etc. These friends, we understand that now, I like it. It is exciting. It is a source of light for me, because source of enjoyment. But in fact, if we look at it from the point of view of the heedlessness, it means not accepting the creator, and there is an owner of this universe, then these friends are orphans. Because if somebody, let's say, I like a beautiful scenery with a huge forest, somebody may burn it with one match, with one small fire. And no one can protect them, or the forest, huge forest, burns away. We cannot protect it. That is why they look orphan, because there is no protection. They are changing, they are dying, no one can stop them. Of course, my own life also becomes an orphan, because I am aging, no one can stop me, and I don't want to die, but no one can really stop me from dying. I am orphan with this worldview.
Thank you. Yes, that's a very sad worldview. These voices became announcements of death. I saw the living to be dead. So depressing. Saw the living to be dead. Knowledge was transformed into fancy. I saw in science 1,000 ailments.
Now, why living to be dead? Why do you think living? It means being a dead body. Although I am living with this worldview, I am dead. Why? I'm continuously falling into the past, and I die there. I cannot get it back. I cannot get my previous life back at all. But for the moment, I seem to be living, but as soon as I want to catch it, keep it, it slips away from my hands. So as if I am living, but at the same time experiencing in my life death. So I don't know how a person can really enjoy himself, his life, and his beings. But in another place, the author explains that the heedless people give a temporary permanence to them, saying that, I have this thing with as my own, and until I die, it is with me. It doesn't go. My life also, I have this life, until I die, I am alive. But when you see it in terms of present moment, I am dead. Because immediately I go into the past, they call it gone, passed away. So we are passing away every moment. It is beautiful description, the reality. Yeah.
So that's why it's just as body, the living to be dead, to no spirit, no soul. Knowledge was transformed into fancy. So knowledge was transformed into fancy. I saw in science 1,000 ailments. So how is knowledge transformed? Because it doesn't lead you anywhere, just stays here. The knowledge into fancy.
I think so.
Okay, thank you. I saw in science 1,000 ailments. It doesn't solve your solution for permanence or eternal satisfaction of pleasures. So definitely science is not the answer. So pleasure became pure pain. I saw existence to be compounded non-existence.
So knowledge was transformed into fancy. Fancy means illusions. Why? For example, I learned how something is working. Okay. What happens at the end? This knowledge dies away with me. It doesn't take me anywhere beyond the limits of my life, limits of this universe. It doesn't take anywhere. If I look at it from the point of view of heedlessness, it means not taking much of the creator or not believing in the creator and an absolute being. Of course, whatever I learn, at the end, it dies away with me and it becomes meaningless. Everything can only be meaningful. That's why this civilization is emphasizing nowadays. Yes, you have to enjoy your life until you die. Why? Afterwards, forget about it. When you die, you will not remember anything. You won't exist anyway. Forget about it. So now concentrate on your present life until you die. That's what they are offering us and cheating people, because all my feelings reject death, death of anything, not only my death, my friends, all the beloved ones, whatever I learn, for example, I want them to be with me permanently, because this knowledge enlightens somehow something for me, but it is meaningless. For example, you learn something, at the end, you cannot practice it. What are you going to do with it? Meaningless.
Thank you. So I saw existence to be compounded non-existence. So existence becomes extremely heavy as it's without any continuation, no meaning. So all the pleasures are just passing away, so they become very painful. If you say the beloved, I found him, alas, on separation, I suffered grievous pain. If you say the beloved, I found him, alas, on separation, I suffered grievous pain.
Yeah. In the translation, in the text, beloved is written with the capital B. I don't think so. If you say the beloved I found, maybe depends on how you interpret it. But in this word, anything I declare as my beloved, then it becomes a source of suffering, grievous pain for me, because I know from my feelings, through my intelligence, consciousness, we will be separated. We won't be together permanently. It is interesting. Thank you. So, beloved, if you say, I saw the beloved as the God, eternal one, within the universe, there is no eternity. That's why I would read it as the minuscule b, lowercase b.
I would agree, that makes sense, the lower B. So anything that you get attached to, you're find as something lovable, and then it gets separated. So that's from that, losing that attachment is very painful. So now the second table, this table indicating the reality of the world of the people of guidance, those with easy hearts. Then the heedlessness passed, and I saw the light of truth.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Can you go to the, yeah, to the beginning? Yeah, those with easy hearts. Actually, I had marked here that the translation should be those with hearts that are at ease.
Yeah, much better translation.
Yeah, those with hearts that are at ease, because it is a peaceful heart, let's say, because guidance really is the source of peace in everything, in my existence, in my life, in my knowledge, in my beloved ones, friends, whatever you think, in my reasoning, everything will be in peace, satisfied completely. Thank you.
Thank you. So then the heedlessness passed, and I saw the light of truth clearly. Because guidance is coming, it's reaching the peaceful heart, and one is conscious using the human abilities, so the light of guidance does come clearly. Existence became the proof of God. So existence became the proof, evidence of God. See, life is the mirror of God. So the life that is given is the mirror of God. It's coming from God. The mind became the key to treasuries. See, transience is the door to permanence. So before the mind was tortured in the heedlessness, but here the mind became the key to the treasuries. So the mind is used to understand the truth of reality. So transience is the door to permanence. So in this transience, one experiences the meaning behind it leads to permanence.
From the beginning, we started that we have to learn how to see, how do you say, how to see the healing in the cure because of the transfer of, if we can make this transfer from createdness, from neediness, from hunger, the apparent simple example, we understand that if I am hungry, created with the sense of hunger, there must be food. If I am created, there must be a creator. If I am needy, created needy, there must be a one who created me with this need so that I will look for the source of satisfaction of my need, accomplishment of my need, or how my need is going to be satisfied. So we understand that this transfer is very important because, for example, separation became true union. If I am taken away from this world, it means there must be a reason. Who is taking away from me from this creation? The conscious says he must mean something. He must be transferring me to somewhere else because he created me with this need, etc., etc.
So with every need, there is a cure, there's a solution to that, or fulfillment of that need. So thank you. So the mind became the key to treasuries. Transience is the door to permanence. The spark of perfection died, but behold the sun of beauty. So a spark, not just a spark, but behold the sun of beauty. So it's like a firefly of perfection in this world, which is a reflection that dies, but behold the sun of beauty.
The existence of darkness is the sign of light, because it is darkness is the lack of existence of light. So I am experiencing darkness in this world. It means, oh, there must be light, and then I am missing it. So it points to the existence of light, for example.
I see, thank you. So separation became true union. See pain in pure pleasure. So see the pain in, pain is pure pleasure.
Let's talk about it. And pain, how? How can I see the pain as pure pleasure? As if I am cheating myself. Of course, we should remember that this section is about illallah. The point of view of the guided people, it means who believe in the creator source of existence. So if you believe that the source of existence of pain is the absolute one and created me with a conscious choice that I should experience the pain of separation, so that I will look for how can I really now get rid of the sense of separation, the pain. There must be a solution for it, and then take away my expectations from the world and pay attention to the source of existence of this world, and seeing that he must be, by the evidence of the universe, he must be an absolute being. I will say the absolute being is calling me to himself rather than losing myself in the universe, because universe is the source of pain for me. But the source of the creation of the universe, source of the creation of my dislike, the sense of disliking the separation, if the source is absolute one, then he is calling me to him. So my hope will be turned towards this creator, absolute being. And I will, my intelligence will understand that absolute being can satisfy it, because he created me with this need. He is the conscious creator. He deliberately created me with this need. Can you imagine if we were created with no need of anything at all? We are satisfied in this world, then the world must be the source of my existence, because he is responding. It is responding to my needs. The world itself created me, and he can satisfy me. Why should I look for a creator, or for a creator who is an absolute being, something, all this concept of God, the creator? The universe is the source of all my needs, and it is really satisfying my needs. That's it. But the reality is, universe is the source of need, but doesn't satisfy my need. Or that is an perfect creation. Inshallah, we are going to study this subject next Monday. This pair, being created in pair, is an brilliant explanation in the Quran, that a sister asked the question after the class, and she is going to ask the question next Monday. How can I really, it is a real question, everybody asks this question. How can I really see the khair, goodness, in the existence of evil? How can I see it? It is deceiving me. Now, that is a beautiful nature of creation. That's what we are going to study on Monday.
Inshallah. So all things, dark life becomes, so separation became true union, pain is pure pleasure. Life became pure action. Life became pure action. See, eternity is pure life. Life became pure action. So before, life was something torturous, I guess. And then now it became pure action. Eternity is pure life. Do you want to talk on this, or life became pure action?
No, but everybody should say their ideas, to share their ideas. If we go back to I don't want you to change the screen, but the previous one, their life is described as life became pure whim. It means imagination, not real existence, because the more I like, the more I lose. Because the more I have in this world, the more pain I feel because I am losing. Definitely I am losing continuously, and at the end, definitely I am losing it for good. That's it. So how the pain is, how much you will enjoy that you have such amount of money that your everything is seems to be okay for you, but if you know that you are going to lose it in an unknown time, but definitely you are going to use it either today or tomorrow, but at the end, not later than 80, 60 years, you are going to use it. How much you enjoy it?
Use it or lose it.
Lose it, lose it. How much you enjoy it? You are going to lose it. Only with negligence. Only with negligence that we can say, okay, I'm going to use it until I die. Anyway, I'm not going to think about after death. That is the age now. Very sharp change happened in the secular society or secular world, because everybody satisfied with the material satisfaction. Now, not everybody in certain areas of the world, they are satisfied with the sight. Okay, everything they get, but one thing, they are losing happiness, pleasure. Life became loneliness. Family life became source of torture, competition, ego competition, family life, ego competition, you and me, all competition, because everybody says, I am self-sufficient, I don't need you. The other one says, I am self-sufficient, I don't need you. And everybody becomes, in the description of the Quran, Pharaoh. And they say, we don't have any satisfaction in our family life. When the children were very young, their pleasure, oh, beautiful. When they grow, they become a separate individual, concrete ego. They don't listen, they exploit you, and then they don't need that you are going to pay the school fees, tuitions. When they got the job, declare their independence and start looking at you down, looking down at you as your parent, as the parents. You say, oh, I lost everything. I lost all my hope. Most of the people in the Western world, what do? They have no family connection. They leave their properties, estate to the church, because church is very clever. They arrange many activities for elderly people. Why? Because they don't ask for money, but they ask their $1 million worth houses or estates, or I don't know, shares, whatever they have, because their children don't take notice of them. Which kind of happiness they are experiencing? Nothing. So it becomes really torture. What do they say now? Enjoy your life until you die. Then lots of videos are going on. Millions of people are really watching them like crazy, hoping that they will offer a solution how to be happy. Be careful. This is a sudden change. It was slowly creeping into the world, as science is not really offering a solution of existence, meaningful existence. It becomes clear. It is becoming clear, more and more clear, And then they started panicking. What are we going to do? Otherwise, people become religious now. So they hate submitting their existence to a creator. Their ego, they just claim their self-sufficiency. That is the civilization. Injects into the minds and feelings of the people. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be convinced about your ability to satisfy yourself. Come on, look for it, struggle for it, strive for it. And they say, there is no hope. And then they look for solutions. How can I be happy? If you write a book and say that I found happiness, you will be really rich. Whatever you write, they will swallow it. Just make it up somehow, appearing to be life experience.
Yep, very popular books these days. So life became pure action. See, eternity is pure life. Darkness became the container of light. So darkness became the container of light. See, there is true life in death.
Now it came to my mind. If you want to have, for example, 100 million hit in your video recording, what are you expecting? What are you going to do? It's very easy. For example, make a video to tell something, really, but somehow flowery language, give it something apparently reasonable. 5 minutes video and put, I found happiness. I am happy. And then see how many million you will get hit, and the people watch it. You know why? Because of the title. They are dying for happiness. How can I find it? How can I find within this world? And these two tables present us impossible. Unless you refer your existence to an absolute being, impossible. This is what the argument going on. And this is basically the Quran's argument, actually. La ilaha illallah. Now we are reading illallah side.
Thank you. So all things became familiar. See, all sounds are the mentioning of God.
It is too great, but how about darkness became the container of light? As if contradictory. Everything is really, as the Quran says, created in pair. But this in pair means contradictory, but complementary. It is interesting. Everything is created in pair, but the pairs are contradictory, but complementing each other. La ilaha complements illallah, illallah complements la ilaha. They respond to each other. Here, darkness, contradictory to light, but complement each other because, it's horrible. Okay, darkness contains light in it. Huh? Because darkness is a sign of existence of light. It itself is the lack of light. That is what darkness is all about. So there is true light in death. So we can put the same thing, same contradiction, contrast between life and death. So in death, we find life. How? In transience, we find the sign to the permanent creator. If the universe wasn't transient, it would be so misleading. If the universe was permanent, so impossible. You know, the creator knows what he's doing really. Universe is perfectly working, but transient. It is a beautiful contrast. Beautiful contrast. We have to understand that all the argument is the Quran is really fundamentally nothing but La ilaha illallah. That is what we are studying here.
So yeah, so contradictory but complementary. So life is and death, contradictory but complementary to each other. So the contradiction is I would say la ilaha. That's a contradiction, but the complement goes to illallah. All things become familiar. Faria, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just validating what you said. Contradictory experiences are la ilaha, and whatever we conclude is illallah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, inshallah. So we'll study that tomorrow, inshallah. I mean, Monday. So all things become familiar. See, all sounds are the mentioning of God. Every being reminds you of God. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, declares. Yes, yes. You got it. You got it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so every creation, every being declares that they don't belong to themselves, but they are representatives of God in one way or another. So all the sounds are the mentioning of God, declaring his qualities. And that's why we become familiar with those qualities of who God is. Yes, anybody else wants to add? All right, so all the atoms in existence, see, each recites God's praises and extols him. All the atoms in existence, each recites God's praises and extols him in their existence. They definitely declare that whoever made me, whoever made the atom, made the whole universe, made you as well, and they declare and praise God, recite God's praises and extols him. I found poverty to be a treasury of wealth. Oh, so poverty to be a treasury of wealth. See, in impotence is perfect strength.
So it is not the physical power, isn't it? I mean, not having enough money or being material needs, but poverty, it means not being able to find anything which will satisfy your expectations within this universe. So permanent expectations. So we are really poor. We
In our existence, yes.
Yeah, in our existence, we are completely needy. For example, we all know that I cannot guarantee my life tomorrow. I cannot guarantee my existence tomorrow. I'm needy because I want to exist. I want to enjoy my existence, but I cannot. Nothing can. Nothing has the ability to give me existence tomorrow or next moment. So poverty is really beautiful. So it's very clever. These sentences are very wise, actually, very wise sayings.
Indeed. So if you realize that you are in need, that's where your connection establishes with your whoever can satisfy that need. That's where the wealth is. I mean, in your existence, of course. So if you find God, see, all things are yours. Yeah, find God, all things are yours, because you're connected to an absolute source. So anything that you are in need of is with him, with that being. If you are the slave of the owner of all things, so if you are worshiping his creation, what is it? Say slave of the owner. Oh, if you are the worshiper of the owner of all things. See, his property is yours. If you are the worshiper, slave of the owner of all things, see, his property is yours.
Like being belong to a, how do you say, if it's not possible, but a very strong company. And the company says, as long as you live, I'll take care of you. So you feel somehow secure in this world, but it's an example, analogy. So analogy must be understood. But if you are working in a small shop that anytime you can be fired from your job, how do you feel? Exactly, this feeling is given to us to have a source of permanent satisfaction. So inshallah, if you are after the slave, the original word is memluk malik. So we have to understand that if you are owned by something else, and this something else is the owner of all things, and then you can understand that his property is yours. Because as long as this company you are affiliated with is alive and working, and how do you say, it is strong, you are strong because you are guaranteed by him. You belong to this company. That is a simple example, but we understand that if I belong to an absolute being, then my owner is the absolute being. So all the needs must be given to me by him, and he will guarantee to satisfy them. So why should I bother? Because he can satisfy them. He is a never, how do you say, failing. He is not failing in anything. He is demonstrating his absolute power all across the universe, and the creation is taking place so perfectly. I mean, if you don't trust the creator of this universe, you cannot trust anything else. Impossible.
Yeah, I prefer this translation that you did about if you are owned by the absolute owner of all things, then yes, it's a different feeling. The analogy is good about the company that doesn't fail at all, and you belong to that company. So, okay, let's continue. So if you are arrogant and claim to own yourself, see, it is trial and tribulation without end. If you are arrogant and claim to own yourself, so if you don't see yourself as belonging to an absolute being, then it is trial and tribulation nonstop, without end. Continue. So that's more of the arrogance of the ego side of the individual, who may think that they own their self, not seeing themselves as being dependent, contingent upon an absolute being. Experience its boundless torment. See, it is a calamity most crushing. Boundless torment is see, it is a calamity most crushing. Experience, it's boundless. So I guess he's talking about the arrogance. Experience the arrogance is boundless torment. It is a calamity most crushing. So if you're truly owned by God, see, it is a limitless pleasure and ease. So that's how the hearts become peaceful and at ease. Taste its uncountable rewards, experience its infinite happiness. So connecting yourself to the absolute source, that is where the infinite happiness lies in, not in anything in this universe. All right, I think we can stop here. So next time, inshallah, we'll continue with another section of this, his feelings, how he is experiencing. I love not those that set. La uhibbul afilin. All right, any final comments by anyone? If not, I think we did start late a little bit, so thank you for bearing with us.
No, I think Sarah El Alam, did you get my, don't stop the recording. Did you get my email?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Or would you like to discuss your question here?
Yes.
So present it before everybody goes. If they are interested, they may stay and we can talk.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. So, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Being that it's the greatest season filled with meaning of Hajj, the days of the Hijjah, a question came up of the black stone, the significance of it in the journey of Hajj, and the relationship that the pilgrim has to this concept of the black stone. And then we hear narrations in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ kissing the black stone. So it just came up as a question, and I was curious of the meaning, because mashallah, we've had series with Dr. Ali on the different aspects of Hajj and the inner dimension and the meaning that all of us on our inner pilgrimage now can relate to. So I was just curious, and I asked Brother Ali to, if anything comes up from his insight, to share what the meaning could be, so that we can relate to it, inshallah, more personally.
Yeah, this black hole business, I feel that there is an hadith, Umar, the Caliph Umar said, I am kissing it because Prophet kissed it. But we have to understand why Prophet kissed this, who the Prophet is, what the Prophet represents. Prophet represents the physical experience of the message of the Creator to mankind. So whatever he does, it must be a response or a representation of human reality under the guidance of the message that the prophets, all prophets, receive from the Creator. So without really making it a long discussion, but we should understand that what the black hole represents, it must represent something that I will love it. And it is something to do, it is affiliated to Kaaba as well. We know that the Kaaba became polluted historically, became polluted by idols. Whatever the idols, it is different things. The people, the pagan people, didn't have a real idol as such, but they were proud of their tribes as well. And the idols in the Kaaba, because the all Arab tribes were very grateful to the establisher of the Arab nation in that region, which is called Hijaz region. So they are really followers of the culture of their ancestry. So their ancestry, as far as they hear from historical narrations, that their ancestry goes back to Ishmael and then Ibrahim. So Ibrahim is their archetype, or whatever you call it, patriarch. So this patriarch established this Kaaba as the house of God, Baytullah. That's what the pagan Arabs knew about really God, or the idea of God. They didn't have any concept of religion. They didn't have any concept of prophet at all. Abraham wasn't a prophet for them. But it is the patriarch of Arab tribe in Hijaz region. So what happened? These people accepted the heritage of Abraham, the Kaaba, as the house of God. So they are polluted with their national prides, and they represented their races with some things symbolizing their tribe in the Kaaba. So God is forgotten, but the Kaaba became full of racial prides. The Prophet disseminated the racism under the guidance of the message of God, and the Kaaba became empty now. And with its emptiness, Kaaba started representing God, symbolizing God in the universe. As we studied, it was the perfect coincidence, actually, arrangement, the content of the class today we had, and the subject. So what we understand now, in the emptiness, in the createdness of this universe, we see the creator. In the emptiness of this Kaaba, we see La ilaha. La ilaha is empty. La ilaha is zero. Zero is a number symbolizing nothing. But the opposite of zero is one, symbolizing existence. So the real existence belongs to God. That is something side information. So we have to understand that we should come to the conclusion of the creator God through the createdness of the universe, emptiness of the universe, not being able to satisfy us. So the core mission of this emptiness, nothingness, but pointing to the existence of the absolute being, is represented by black hole. Sorry, black stone. So Hajarul Aswad, black stone. So black stone is black, not a source of nur. La ilaha is black or darkness, pointing to nur. So some historians, although they are not very famous in the culture, describe black stone as the altar of Ibrahim, slaughtering what we love in this world. La uhibbul afilin. We love we don't love the transient beings. As far as the relationship between Abraham and his son is concerned, it appears to be that legacy of Abraham will be continued by his son Ishmael or Isaac, doesn't matter the name, by his son. The Jewish people say it is Isaac, doesn't matter, it's okay. Isaac, so what? So he wanted to cut off his relationship, to cut off his hope from the thing that appears to be source of trust, source of satisfaction, source of security in this world. And the black stone symbolizes to be the altar of this narration that we read from the Quran. Where Ishaq or Ishmael, the Muslim tradition insists that it is that because Ishmael, because it is the father of Arab tribe. We don't care who is the father of your tribe. Go ahead with your tribal pride. That's what we learn from the Quran. I don't care who he was, but his trust. He tried to. He attempted to slaughter it, make it zero. That is why the meaning of Kaaba and meaning of black stone are meeting each other at this crossroad. What are we going to do now? We should love Kaaba, and therefore we should love black hole, because only through them that we understand permanent absolute creator. In the emptiness of Kaaba, I understand absoluteness of the creator, existence of the creator. In the the blackness of this stone, I understand the existence of light. It means when I cut off my hope from any kind of source of trust in this world, I really get the satisfaction by laying or directing my source of satisfaction by attributing it to the absolute power of the creator. That is why we love this world, because it is the means of realizing the absolute creator. We love Kaaba. It is the means of its emptiness. I understand the existence of the creator. I cannot represent God in this world with nothing but only zero. Emptiness of Kaaba, blackness of black hole. That is why I keep saying black hole, cover. Because I have been considering the concept of black hole. What does it mean? What does it symbolize in the physical world? And then how these atheist people interpret it in a nonsense way, etc. My tongue is usually using the black stone. Anyway, black stone. So we have to understand that black stone. For example, if the existence of this black hole concept is true, which I believe that it is the graveyard of, or the grave of the universe, yes, the universe will die, definitely. I understand that universe cannot be the source of satisfaction for me. Beautiful. So we can interpret, we can understand the reality of this universe and the reality of the creator in these contrasts. So we should make the same understanding or reflect the same understanding on the meaning of Kaaba, meaning of Hajj, and meaning of the black hole, and I love the universe, because only through the emptiness, blackness, meaninglessness of this universe, I understood the absolute being. That is why Hajj is really very essential. If someone has this understanding, not the, I don't know, touristic journey, a religious touristic journey, touristic trip. And so inshallah, it is meaningful, and black hole is meaningful. We love this universe. For example, I love the paper of the book, pages of the book. Why? Because only through the writings in the pages of the book, I can communicate with its author. Otherwise, I cannot communicate with the author. Most of the books I'm reading, whose authors have already died. then, but I can communicate with the author, although they are dead in this world, with their knowledge. I need their knowledge. I don't need their personality. What shall I do with an old guy? So I can just benefit from their knowledge, because as long as I love the book, I read the book, I am with the author of the book, not with the paper. So exactly the same way the universe functions, the Kaaba functions, and black hole, the black stone must function for me. Otherwise, kissing the black stone, why the prophet kissed it? It means we are missing the meaning of prophethood. We made the prophet a beautiful, handsome guy. That is a pity. What is this civilization, the Muslim civilization, became really horrible. I'm sorry, but we have to wake up, and what we have to transfer it with the readings that we read today, for example, beautiful transformation. And also we have to reflect this transformation into our symbolic rituals, interpret them in a meaningful way, consistent with the fundamental teachings of belief in the Quran. Everything becomes meaningful in the Quran if we make this transformation. Otherwise, reading the Quran as a source of information, let me say what God taught me, and not reason about it, not see the methodology in it, just waste of time. Thank you very much. That is what I got. If somebody else would like to share their ideas, I will love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, you had your hand up. Please another question.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. So I understand, mashallah, the how the perfection of the compatibility with the Nursi text today and this question, it makes sense. The emptiness of the Kaaba and the blackness of the stone points to the necessary existence of the meaning of needing wholeness versus emptiness, and needing light versus the blackness. I'm wondering if the historical narration of the stone falling from paradise then also signifies I mean, I what comes to me is if the stone is something we can't confirm, if the stone came from where, but we know that the stone was made like any stone by an absolute source. So then it reminds me that the blackness of it and the existence of it must point to an absolute being, regardless of whether it physically fell from the heavens or it actually came from its creator regardless. And I'm just wondering if that sounds, I guess.
General public, ordinary people cannot understand concepts which are, what is the word?
Symbolic or
Sorry?
symbolic, I would say, or explaining it in a way.
Not the concrete ones. How do you say?
Allegorical.
Mujarrad in Arabic. Anybody?
That should be interpreted.
Abstract. Yes, Suhail. Thank you very much, Suhail. Abstract concepts. They always want to see a concrete example, which is legitimate. This is very human. And that is why Quran presents its abstract knowledge, abstract guidance within the concrete examples, especially examples of the prophetic narrations, examples given in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. All these examples are concrete examples of the abstract notions. That is why as much as we can do it, we should do it to see the abstract concepts behind all these concrete examples. So, of course, the people, because you can reach paradise, or if only you see the blackness of this world, meaninglessness of this world. That is correct. But symbolically, the people, what they do, they change this symbolic meaning into black hole came from paradise. Yeah, I mean, it is a means of connecting to paradise, but not really physically dropped from the paradise. I don't think it is eternal, because it is becoming smaller and smaller as the people touch on it and kiss and, you know, fight for kissing it. Stupid things, meaningless, idiotic things, trying to fight who is going to kiss. Of course, in the fight, no one can kisses. Only occasionally one man can kisses. It is a trouble for the guard waiting on top of it, saying that don't fight for it, don't fight for it. No one listens to it. Unfortunately, Muslim population became that much horrible. Horrible. Hitting each other. Even they don't make a line, say that is a practiced prophetic sunnah. Touch it, it means really experience that. It means something, symbolizes something. I physically experience it, like really circumambulation or whatever it is, circling around the Kaaba, just going around it, tying up. What am I tying? This word is empty. This word is meaningless. This word is not worth really taking into consideration, taking it seriously, tying it. So repeatedly say, La ilaha in this word, La ilaha in this word. Inshallah, the people will wake up and understand this and make their Hajj the beautiful once in one's life performance of worship, 3 days of complete concentration. Inshallah, we will be able to do that. Inshallah. So the people will get, we have to pray, but we have to help them. We have to understand. We shouldn't say, oh, you are good Muslims, mashallah. Yeah, mashallah, you are very good Muslim. Alhamdulillah. So why practicing? Because you pray. Oh, how many times did you go on Hajj? 3 times. Oh, mashallah, what a religious guy. Stupid, wasted his money on it and worked for it, and his life went into nothingness. Thank you.
I just want to say, Jazakallah khair, that I found this incredible connection and just understanding that it's true. Like, so if it was meant to have this concept of like, oh, this came out of paradise, there's so many beautiful stones that we find in the mountains that people have, like, that have incredible beauty, like rose quartz or blue and pink and green and purple, that people really grab for its beauty. So the fact that this purposefully came as a black stone, that with the meaning that you shared makes total sense, because if it was meant to signify paradise, we would imagine it would be something incredibly beautiful.
And the universe came from Allah, not from paradise. Black stone came from Allah, not from paradise. Paradise came from Allah as well. It is very simplistic. It doesn't make sense at all. But it must symbolize something. We have to see the abstract notion behind it.
Alhamdulillah, thank you all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka anta alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Surah Al-Fatiha. Thank you everyone.